Practical steps for curriculum development in science education. Curriculum development in science education for English medium instruction involves careful planning and design to ensure effective teaching and learning of scientific concepts and skills. The curriculum encompasses a range of components that contribute to a comprehensive and cohesive science education experience. Firstly, the curriculum development process begins with the identification of key learning goals and objectives. These goals define what students should know and be able to do in science by the end of each grade or level. They are often aligned with national or international standards to ensure consistency and quality across different educational settings. Next, the curriculum designers determine the scope and sequence of the science curriculum. This involves determining the appropriate progression of topics and concepts across grade levels, ensuring that each subsequent level builds upon the knowledge and skills acquired in the previous level. The sequence may follow a logical order, starting with foundational concepts and gradually introducing more complex and specialized areas of science. In English medium instruction, particular attention is paid to language development within the science curriculum. Science-specific vocabulary, language structures, and academic language skills are integrated into the curriculum to enhance students' scientific literacy and language proficiency simultaneously. This allows students to effectively communicate and express their scientific ideas and understanding in English. To promote active learning and student engagement, the curriculum incorporates a variety of instructional strategies and assessment methods. Hands-on experiments, inquiry-based learning, group discussions, and multimedia resources are employed to foster critical thinking, problem-solving, and scientific inquiry skills. Assessments may include performance-based tasks, projects, presentations, and written examinations that evaluate students' understanding of scientific concepts and their ability to apply them in real-world contexts. Additionally, the curriculum development process in science education for English medium instruction takes into account the integration of technology and digital resources. The use of interactive simulations, online databases, virtual laboratories, and educational software enhances students' access to information, facilitates data analysis, and supports their understanding of complex scientific phenomena. Furthermore, the curriculum aims to promote scientific literacy and the understanding of the nature of science. It emphasizes the development of scientific attitudes such as curiosity, skepticism, and open-mindedness, as well as the ability to critically evaluate scientific claims and evidence. The curriculum also addresses ethical considerations, environmental sustainability, and the application of scientific knowledge to real-world issues. Ultimately, curriculum development involves a thoughtful and comprehensive approach. It encompasses the identification of learning goals, the establishment of a logical sequence of topics, language development, active learning strategies, technology integration, and the promotion of scientific literacy. The goal of curriculum development is to provide students with a comprehensive and balanced science education that fosters critical thinking, scientific inquiry, and an appreciation for the natural world. Here are some key considerations and elements involved in curriculum development for high school science subjects. Standards and frameworks, learning objectives, content selection, pedagogical approaches, assessment and evaluation, integration of cross-cutting concepts, authentic applications, equity and inclusion, continuous improvement. Standards and frameworks. The development of science curriculum is often guided by national or state standards and frameworks that outline the desired learning outcomes for students at each grade level. These standards serve as a foundation for curriculum developers and help ensure that students are exposed to essential scientific content. Scope and sequence. Curriculum developers determine the scope and sequence of topics to be covered in the science curriculum. They decide which scientific concepts, theories, and skills should be introduced at each grade level, considering the progression of complexity and prerequisites for learning. Here are some examples of how curriculum developers might determine the scope and sequence of topics in a high school science curriculum. In this example, the curriculum developers have designed a progression of topics that gradually increases in complexity and builds upon prior knowledge. Each grade level focuses on specific scientific disciplines, ensuring a broad understanding of the different branches of science. Prerequisites for learning are considered, meaning that foundational concepts are introduced before moving on to more advanced topics. This scope and sequence provide a logical and systematic approach to the development of students' scientific knowledge and skills throughout their high school years. Learning objectives. Clear and measurable learning objectives are established to specify what students should know and be able to do after completing the curriculum. These objectives address both content knowledge and scientific skills, such as observation, experimentation, data analysis, and communication. Here are some examples of clear and measurable learning objectives for high school science curriculum, addressing both content knowledge and scientific skills. These learning objectives are specific, measurable, and focused on what students should know and be able to do upon completing the curriculum. They combine content knowledge with scientific skills, such as observation, experimentation, data analysis, and communication, reflecting the multifaceted nature of scientific learning. By clearly defining these objectives, curriculum developers provide teachers with guidance on what should be taught and help students understand the expected outcomes of their learning experiences. Content selection. Curriculum developers select appropriate content to address the learning objectives and align with the chosen standards. This includes topics from various scientific disciplines, such as physics, chemistry, biology, and earth sciences, as well as interdisciplinary subjects like environmental science. Here are some examples of content selection for a high school science curriculum, incorporating topics from different scientific disciplines. In this example, curriculum developers have selected content that aligns with the learning objectives and standards of high school science education. The chosen topics cover key concepts and principles from physics, chemistry, and biology. Additionally, an interdisciplinary subject like environmental science may be included to provide students with a broader understanding of environmental issues and their scientific underpinnings. By incorporating content from different scientific disciplines, curriculum developers aim to provide a comprehensive and well-rounded science education for high school students. Pedagogical approaches. Curriculum developers consider different pedagogical approaches and teaching strategies to engage students in active learning. They may incorporate hands-on laboratory experiments, inquiry-based investigations, group discussions, project-based learning, and the use of technology and multimedia resources. Here are some examples of pedagogical approaches and teaching strategies that curriculum developers may consider for high school science education. Hands-on laboratory experiments, inquiry-based investigations, group discussions, project-based learning, technology and multimedia resources, field trips and outdoor activities, differentiated instruction. You can find comprehensive explanations of these items on the document associated with this presentation through the Learning Management System. These pedagogical approaches aim to engage students actively in the learning process, promote critical thinking, and provide authentic experiences that align with the nature of scientific inquiry. By incorporating a variety of strategies, curriculum developers cater to different learning styles and enhance students' understanding and appreciation of science. Assessment and evaluation. A well-designed curriculum includes methods to assess students' understanding and progress. Curriculum developers create assessments, such as tests, quizzes, and practical experiments, to measure students' knowledge and skills. These assessments help identify areas of improvement and inform instructional adjustments. Here are some examples of assessments that curriculum developers can use to measure students' knowledge and skills in a high school science curriculum. Tests and quizzes, practical experiments and laboratory assessments, performance assessments, projects and portfolios, group or collaborative assessments, formative assessments. You can find comprehensive explanations of these items on the document associated with this presentation through the Learning Management System. By using a variety of assessment methods, curriculum developers can gather comprehensive information about students' understanding, progress, and areas for improvement. These assessments provide valuable data that can inform instructional adjustments, such as modifying teaching strategies, addressing specific misconceptions, or providing additional support to students. Integration of cross-cutting concepts. High school science curriculum often incorporates cross-cutting concepts that bridge different scientific disciplines. These concepts, such as patterns, cause and effect, systems and models, energy and matter, scale, proportion, and quantity, help students develop a unified understanding of science. Here are examples of how cross-cutting concepts can be integrated into a high school science curriculum. By incorporating cross-cutting concepts into the curriculum, students develop a holistic and interconnected understanding of scientific concepts that transcends individual disciplines. These concepts provide a unifying framework for students to analyze and explain phenomena across various scientific domains, fostering a deeper appreciation of the interconnectedness of the natural world. Authentic applications. Curriculum developers strive to connect science concepts to real-world applications and societal issues. They may include case studies, current events, and problem-solving tasks that allow students to see the relevance of science in their lives and promote critical thinking. Here are examples of authentic applications that can be incorporated into a high school science curriculum to connect science concepts to real-world applications and societal issues. By incorporating authentic applications, students can see the relevance of science concepts in their daily lives and understand how scientific knowledge can be applied to address real-world challenges. These examples foster critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and an appreciation for the impact of science on society. equity, and inclusion. An important aspect of curriculum development is ensuring equity and inclusion. Developers consider diverse perspectives, incorporate culturally relevant content, and design activities that engage all students, regardless of their background or abilities. Here are some examples of how curriculum developers can promote equity and inclusion in a high school science curriculum. Culturally relevant content. Multilingual resources. Differentiated instruction. Inclusive classroom activities. Authentic assessment methods. Inclusive language and examples. You can find details related to these items on the document associated with this presentation through the Learning Management System. By promoting equity and inclusion, curriculum developers create a learning environment that values and respects the diverse identities and experiences of students. These examples aim to engage all students in science learning and provide opportunities for them to connect with the subject matter in meaningful ways. Continuous improvement. Curriculum development is an iterative process that involves ongoing reflection, feedback, and improvement. Educators, administrators, and other stakeholders collaborate to evaluate the effectiveness of the curriculum and make necessary adjustments based on student performance data and feedback. Here are examples of how curriculum developers can incorporate continuous improvement into the development and implementation of a high school science curriculum. Data-driven decision-making. Teacher and student feedback. Curriculum review cycles. Continuous assessment and adjustments. Piloting and field testing. You can find details related to these items on the document associated with this presentation through the Learning Management System. By embracing a continuous improvement approach, curriculum developers ensure that the high school science curriculum remains responsive to the evolving needs of students, aligns with educational goals, and fosters effective teaching and learning practices. It's worth noting that curriculum development practices can vary across different educational systems, jurisdictions, and individual schools. The specific details and implementation of science curriculum may differ based on local requirements, educational philosophies, and available resources. As we conclude this presentation, I invite you to reflect on the importance of curriculum development in science education and the impact it has on shaping the minds of future scientists and innovators. Let us continue our shared commitment to providing quality science education, adapting to the ever-changing landscape, and inspiring the next generation of curious minds. Together, we can make a lasting difference in the scientific journey of our students. Thank you once again, and I wish you all continued success in your teaching. You can access the comprehensive PDF document associated with this presentation through the Learning Management System.